Let's explore recursion in C++. Recursion is a powerful programming technique where functions call themselves to solve problems. It's like a set of Russian nesting dolls, each containing a smaller version of itself. Let's dive in and understand how it works. So, what exactly is recursion? In programming, recursion is a technique where a function calls itself in order to solve a problem. It's a powerful way to break down complex problems into smaller, more manageable subproblems of the same type. Now, every recursive solution needs two key elements. First, base cases. These are the conditions that tell the function when to stop calling itself and return a direct answer. This prevents the function from running forever. Second, recursive cases. These are the conditions where the function calls itself with a modified input, working towards the base case. Now let's consider this simple example. Here we have an integer function factorial that accepts an integer n as a parameter. If n is less than or equal to 1, the function returns 1. This is the base case that stops the recursion. Otherwise, the function returns n multiplied by factorial of n minus 1. This is the recursive case that moves towards the base case by decrementing it with every recursive call. Thus, recursion is a powerful technique in programming that solves a problem by calling itself. Let's visualize how recursion works using the example of calculating the factorial of 4. First, we have the call phase. Here, factorial of 4 calls factorial of 3, which calls factorial of 2, which then calls factorial of 1. These calls are stacked on top of each other. This is called call stack. Next, the base case is reached. Here, factorial of 1 returns 1, which is the base case. Then we enter the return phase. First, factorial of 1 returns 1. Then factorial of 2 calculates 2 times 1, which is 2, and returns 2. Then factorial of 3 calculates 3 times 2, which is 6, and returns 6. Finally, factorial of 4 calculates 4 times 6, which is 24, and returns 24. So, the final result of factorial of 4 is 24. Thus, recursion works by repeatedly calling itself until a base case is reached and is solved, after which results are returned to each function call in the call stack, till the original function returns the final result. Now let's discuss the key components of recursion. The first key component is the base case. This is the condition that stops the recursion and prevents it from going on forever. It provides a direct answer for the simplest form of the input. It is important to make sure that the base case can be reached for all possible inputs, or the recursion might never stop. For example, in the base case shown, if n is less than or equal to 1, the function returns 1. The second key component is the recursive case. This is where the function calls itself to break the problem down into smaller subproblems. This call must move towards the base case so that it can eventually be solved, otherwise the recursion will go on forever. The recursive case combines the solutions of subproblems to solve the original problem. For example, in the recursive case shown, the function returns n multiplied by factorial of n minus 1. Let's take a deep dive into the factorial example. The code shown calculates n factorial, which is the product of all positive integers up to n. First, we have a function factorial that accepts an integer n as a parameter. Inside the function, we have a base case. If n is less than or equal to 1, the function returns 1. Otherwise, we have a recursive case. The function returns n, multiplied by the function factorial called with n minus 1. Now, let's consider the execution of factorial 4. First, we call factorial of 4. Since 4 is greater than 1, we calculate 4 multiplied by factorial of 3. Then, since 3 is greater than 1, we calculate 3 multiplied by factorial of 2. Then, since 2 is greater than 1, we calculate 2 multiplied by factorial of 1. Now, since 1 is equal to 1, factorial of 1 returns 1, which is the base case. Then factorial of 2 returns 2 times 1, which is 2. Then factorial of 3 returns 3 times 2, which is 6. Finally, factorial of 4 returns 4 times 6, which is 24. Let's consider the Fibonacci sequence. The Fibonacci sequence is a series of numbers where each number is the sum of the two preceding ones, usually starting with 0 and 1. The sequence typically looks like this: 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, and so on. Now let's consider the code. Here, the Fibonacci function accepts an integer n as a parameter. There are two base cases. First, if n is less than or equal to 0, the function returns 0. Second, if n is equal to 1, the function returns 1. Otherwise, the function returns Fibonacci of n-1 plus Fibonacci of n-2. Here we have a visualization of calculating Fibonacci of 4. Fibonacci of 4 is equal to Fibonacci of 3 plus Fibonacci of 2. Then Fibonacci of 3 is equal to Fibonacci of 2 plus Fibonacci of 1, and Fibonacci of 2 is equal to Fibonacci of 1 plus Fibonacci of 0. Let's discuss some common pitfalls in recursion. The first pitfall is a missing base case. Without a proper base case, the recursion will continue indefinitely, which will cause a stack overflow. Here's an example. We have an integer function factorial that accepts an integer n as a parameter, but it does not have a base case. It simply returns n multiplied by factorial of n-1, which will cause the recursion to go on forever. The second pitfall is stack overflow. Too many recursive calls can exceed the call stack limit, which will cause your program to crash. Here's an example. We have an integer function Fibonacci that accepts an integer n as a parameter. If n is less than or equal to 1, the function returns n, otherwise, it returns Fibonacci of n-1 plus Fibonacci of n-2. This function has a high time complexity due to overlapping subproblems and can cause a stack overflow for larger values of n. Now let's compare recursion with iteration. First, let's consider recursion. Recursion is elegant and concise for problems with recursive structure. It uses the call stack for managing state. It can be less efficient due to function call overhead and has risk of stack overflow for deep recursion. For example, here the function factorial recursively calls itself. Now let's consider iteration. Iteration is often more efficient in terms of memory and speed. It uses explicit loops instead of function calls. There's no risk of stack overflow. However, it can be more complex for inherently recursive problems. For example, here the function factorial iteratively calculates the factorial using a for loop. Recursion has several real-world applications. The first application is tree traversal. Recursion is ideal for navigating tree structures like file systems, document object model, and binary trees. Here's an example. We have a function traverse tree that accepts a node pointer as a parameter. If the node pointer is equal to null pointer, the function returns nothing. Otherwise, the function processes the data of the node and recursively calls traverse tree with the left and right children of the node. The second application is sorting algorithms. Many efficient sorting algorithms like quicksort and merge sort use recursion to divide and conquer. Here's an example. The quicksort function recursively calls itself with lower and upper bounds. The third application is backtracking. Recursion can solve puzzles, mazes, and combinatorial problems by exploring all possible solutions. Here's an example. We have a solveMaze function that recursively calls itself with new x and y coordinates to find the solution of the maze. The fourth application is dynamic programming. Recursion, along with memoization, can be used to optimize solutions and avoid redundant calculations. Here's an example. We have a Fibonacci function that uses an array to store computed Fibonacci numbers and uses the stored value if it has already been computed. Here are some best practices to keep in mind when using recursion. Always define clear base cases to prevent infinite recursion. Ensure recursive calls move toward the base case. Use memoization to avoid redundant calculations. Consider tail recursion for compiler optimization. Know when to use iteration instead, especially for performance-critical code. Test with boundary cases and large inputs. In summary, recursion is a powerful technique that allows elegant solutions to complex problems by breaking them down into simpler subproblems. Recursive functions call themselves, and base cases prevent infinite recursion. Recursion is perfect for tree structures and divide and conquer. It is important to consider performance implications of using recursion. It is a powerful tool in every programmer's toolkit. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit CodeLucky.com for more such useful content.